I think the world is finally seeing the version of you I always knew existed. I don't want my love to become another burden in your life. The conference announcement. In the auditorium in the evening, students gather. Excitement everywhere. The conference coordinator stepped forward proudly and said, selected representative will spend 2 weeks in Abuja for national leadership training. Students cheer loudly. If it freeze, 2 weeks further away, busier schedule, more distance from Obina. Tunde noticed her expression immediately. Tunde said, that doesn't look like someone celebrating. If he forces a smile and said, I am happy. Tunde said, no, you are scared. Your relationship won't survive your growth. If he looks at him shocked, because he understood her immediately. At the football field at night, Obinna sits alone again, thinking. The old man from before walked past and noticed him. The old man said, still fighting your heart? Obinna laughed softly and said, I think I am hurting someone I love. The old man sat beside him slowly and said to him, then listen carefully. Love cannot breathe inside constant fear. If you keep holding someone too tightly, eventually they will start associating your love with pressure instead of peace. Obinna looks emotional immediately. The old man continued. He said, and so, never make a person feel guilty for becoming successful. If you truly love them, you should clap the loudest when life blesses them. Obinna lowered his head slowly, realizing he has been unintentionally turning iffy achievement into emotional stress. Healthy love celebrates growth. Insecure love fears it. In iffy hostel room, if he lies on her bed, emotionally drained, her phone rings. Obinna. She hesitated before answering. That hesitation alone says everything. If he said, hello, Obina's voice sounds softer tonight, different, more mature. Obina said, I owe you an apology. If he stayed quiet, listening carefully, Obina said, you have been fighting for us too, and I have been too blind to fear to see it properly. If his eyes softly filled with tears, Obina continued. He said, I don't want my love to become another burden in your life. I want it to become your safe place again. If he finally breaks down emotionally, crying softly into the phone, because this is all she ever wanted. Understanding. If he said, I miss us. Obina closes his eyes painfully. Obina said, we will find our way back. I promise. Outside, rain fall heavily across both cities again. But tonight, the storm feel less like destruction and more like healing, beginning slowly. Real love mature when people stop trying to win arguments and start trying to protect each other's hearts. There is something weird about being loved by someone who knew you before success changed your world. In a hotel lodge, conference attendants relaxing together, music playing softly, laughter everywhere. If he sit with Tunde, discussing future opportunities, then suddenly a successful young entrepreneur joined them, charismatic, confident, and wealthy. The entrepreneur said, you are the girl from the conference speech. Impressive. If he smiled politely, the entrepreneur continued. Women like you don't stay unnoticed for long. Tunde noticed the flirtation immediately. If he noticed too and becomes uncomfortable, the entrepreneur said, do you have a boyfriend? If he smiled softly, without hesitation, and said, yes, I do. The entrepreneur nodded respectfully. But Tunde watches her carefully because the way she answered carried certainty, loyalty, and love. Back home, power outrage again. Obina studied using a rechargeable lamp. His father entered silently, watching him for a while. Then he said, I am proud of you. Obina looked shocked immediately because his father rarely say emotional things. The father said, you are fighting hard for your future. Obina becomes emotional quietly. The father continued, just don't lose yourself trying to become worthy of love. That line hit deeply because Obina has spent months doing exactly that. You should improve yourself because you value your future. Don't because you think you must earn basic love. In the hotel rooftop at midnight, if you stand alone, overlooking Abuja, thinking deeply, her phone buzz. Obina sent a voice note. She pressed play. Obina voice note said, I know life is changing fast for you right now, but I hope one day, when all your dreams come true, you still remember the boy who loved you before the world knew your name. If we immediately start crying softly, not from sadness, but because nobody has ever loved her that purely, that sincerity. There is something rare about being loved by someone who knew you before success changed your world. In the conference hall, the final day, award announcement. Students seated anxiously. The host said, this year astounding youth leadership recognition goes to Ife Okafor. Massive applaud. Standing ovation. Ife covers her mouth. In shock, tears immediately falling. Tunde hugs her proudly. Liz screamed loudly from the audience. Meanwhile, in the small viewing center, at the same time, Obina watches the live stream surrounded by strangers. The entire room applaud Ife. Obina smiles proudly, eyes filled with tears. Not because he is losing her anymore, but because he finally understands. Loving her was never supposed to make him feel smaller. It was supposed to inspire him to grow too. Healthy love does not compete. It inspires. Obina whispers softly to himself while staring at the screen. That is my girl. At the bus terminal in the evening, the conference is over. Students are returning to their various cities. Laughter, goodbye, phone numbers exchange. If you stand beside her luggage, her work certificate in hand, her heart raised. Not because of the award, not because of the recognition, but because in a few hours she will finally see Obina again after months apart. Distance teaches people the value of presence. Sometimes you don't realize how much someone means to you until you can no longer reach out and touch them. And the bus at night, if you sit by the window, watching city lights disappear behind her, she smiles while scrolling through old photos, pictures of her and Obina, secondary school graduation, their first university admission celebration, their first date, countless silly selfies. The memory make her smile, then cry, then smile again. People think love survive through grand gesture. Sometimes it survives because two people simply refuse to quit. Back home, at the football field, same time, same night, Obina is training younger players. For the first time in months, he looked genuinely happy, focused, confident, growing. Jide noticed immediately. Jide said, look at you. Obina said, what? Jide said, you finally stopped behaving like somebody waiting to be abandoned. Obina laughed and said, maybe because I realized something. Jide said, what is that? Obina said, love is not supposed to feel like a countdown to break hearts. Jide smiled proudly. When trust grows, love becomes peaceful. When fear grows, love becomes exhausting. At the bus park in the afternoon, the next day, crowded, busy, noisy. Passengers arriving, families reuniting. Obinna stand nervously among the crowd, checking every arriving bus, heart pounding. Then the bus door open. If he step out, for a moment everything around them disappear. No crowd, no noise, no distance, just them. Their eyes lock. Neither move at first because some moments are too big for word. Then if he drop her bag and runs, Obinna runs too. They meet halfway, holding each other tightly. Months of loneliness disappearing in one embrace. If he said, I missed you, Obinna said, I missed you more. And if he said, impossible, Obinna said, very possible. Both laughed through tears. Never underestimate the power of being reunited with someone your heart never stopped missing. Obinna and Ife walking through town, eating roadside suya, visiting their old secondary school, sitting beneath their favorite tree, laughing until their stomach hurts. For a while, life feels simple again, like old times, like home.